So good morning. So this morning I'm going to talk about the love that will not die. Yes. So what we really look at here is we ask the question, what do you mean love dies? No. It merely transforms. What happens is it expands, it goes into other things, it grows, it has this amazing way of morphing in and out of different things in our lives. But love is always a constant. Love cannot die because it exists within each and every one of us. And what it is, it's part of that divine spirit that each of us has. Excuse me. We are truly spiritual beings having a human incarnation. That's what we're doing. And we're each individuals. An individual means we are undivided. We are whole. We are part of this beautiful, beautiful world that we are part of. And in that wholeness, we are part of the divinity that has created us and will continue to live on. Love never dies. In Science of Mind, what we teach is that the soul is never born and it never dies. It is eternal. So if you all think you're going to take a dirt nap, it's not going to happen. You're going to continue to go on. You're going to just merely walk out of this body, this human container, and you're going to just walk into something else. You're going to walk into another beautiful experience, another dimension, whatever that is. You're going to continue to go on and on and on. So please don't ever think that when death comes, that is just of the body. It is not of our soul. Our soul continues to live because love never dies. As I said, it just transforms. So Pema Chodron, she said, the only time we ever know what's really going on is when the rug's been pulled out and we can't find anywhere to land. How many of us have done that? Yes, I know. And she continues, we use these situations either to wake ourselves up or to put ourselves to sleep. And what she means by that is we use these situations of a wake-up call, so to speak, to say, okay, I better look at this a little differently, and I better get with the program. Or the other alternative is, I'll just put it over here, and I'll just forget about it. I won't deal with it. I'll just go to sleep, and everything will be fine, and it won't bother me anymore. Ha. Yes, exactly. Right now, she continues, is the very instant of groundlessness, is the seed of taking care of those who need our care and of our discovering our goodness. So what we're talking about this morning is not just love never dies, but compassion. Compassion that we, as humans, have a natural affinity for, but we tend to ignore it. Heaven forbid we should get involved in somebody else's life because they might take up our time. How many of us have seen someone maybe in distress and gone, oh, let somebody else take care of it? Or maybe, I know for me what I do is, how many of us have heard, and I know we all have, an ambulance or fire truck, or we've seen somebody. Like this morning I was coming here and I saw 4 police cars and an ambulance and a fire truck. And I thought, wow, whatever's going on is big. And so I took a moment and I said, you know, Spirit, wherever you are right now, I know that you are at the center of this event that is going on in this person's life or people's lives. And what I understand and know is that love is right there at the center. And then I release it and I let it go because that's what I know to be true. That's what I understand. You know, this world, this earthly plane that we walk in is sacred ground because we are all divine individuals. where we get tripped up is when we start getting into our ego. And I have many times said ego is, edging God out. When we learn to be compassionate, we release separation, differences, opinions, and we blend our hearts into one heart. Helping becomes an act of reverence, worship, and gratitude. Compassion, it is this life-giving back to itself. It is grace merely to have the chance to serve. No roles, no helper, or helpee. We just know. Compassion is forgiveness. That's the way I like to look at it. Compassion is being able to forgive ourselves for whatever it is and love ourselves, which is often difficult because of wherever we have come from or whatever has been, done to us throughout our life. We tend to get hardened. We tend to say, no, I can't go there. Why should I be there for that person when I have not had that in my life? That's not an excuse. Compassion is a spiritual practice. Compassion is a spiritual practice to know, as in 1 Peter 3:8, it said, "Be ye all one mind, having compassion one of another, love as brethren." So what that means is we have love for each other, that we see each other as one. We see each other as love. We don't see something separate, or that person separate from us. We see them as a human doing, because we are. We're all human doings. We refer to it as human beings because we be, but we really truly are human and doing all the time. So in the Buddhist practice, they have what is called the bodhicitta, and it is a Sanskrit word that means noble or awakened heart. Here's the soft spot. This is the soft spot of each of us, and it is when we are pushed by pain and we are pulled in the direction of forgiveness and love. What happens is we feel that pain not only for ourselves but for someone else. And when we feel ready to give up, this is the time when healing can find itself and the tenderness of pain itself can begin. What happens is we tend to protect ourselves. We say, oh no, don't want to go there, can't feel that again, that was not a good thing. I can't go there anymore. And so what happens is not only in our hearts, but in our heads, we say, no, I'm not going to go there. So then what happens is we start building up these layers of hardness, of where we become fearful, where we become alienated, where our personal hopes and dreams start to get buried because, oh my gosh, what happens if I actually step out and I try to do that? I'm going to get shut down. You really think so? Is that what you know to be true? It's not what I know to be true. What I know is that I am free and I am unlimited. I have no restrictions, and my personal hopes and dreams are there. I just have to reach out and do it. An interesting thing is when we heal whatever it is for ourselves, we heal it for the world. So when we have something that's difficult and we want to hide and we want to bury whatever it is, and we allow it just to stay there, what happens is it rumbles. And it continues to rumble, and it continues to push up. And what happens is eventually it's just going to go blah everywhere. And then we have a huge mess to clean up because we've spent so long in burying it that we're not allowing ourselves to process it. And then when it's staring us in the face, that's when, Pema Chodron said, when the rug comes out from under us, what do? We don't vacuum it. or what would most people say, suck it up. What happens is we actually process it. We say, okay, I'm going to look at this and I'm going to really look at it, see how it affects me. And how not only does it affect me, but it's affecting other people. Am I causing not only myself pain, but someone else pain? You know, Ernest Holmes, who was the founder of our philosophy, he said, compassion and caring are the ties that bind us together in mutual understanding and in the unified attempt to uncover the divinity in each other. Compassion is the gentlest of all human virtues, for it is the outpouring of the divine givingness through all. Our greatest cause of hope, now this is not him, but it's one of my notes. It says, our greatest cause for hopelessness is thinking terms of them versus me. So what we're doing is we're in victim consciousness. The whole world's against me. Not really. You're against yourself. There is nothing the victim consciousness, what happens is we blame other people. We blame other things for whatever position we are in the world. They did that to us. No, you did that to you. That's the cold, hard truth. What happened is whatever you created, whatever your experience was, maybe it didn't work out so well. So because it didn't go the way you wanted it, you're a victim. And that's not true. You're not a victim. What you are is a human being that is able to look at a situation and say, you know what? Let's back up and let's do something else. Let's try it from a different angle. Let's try it from a different attitude. That kind of thing. What would that look like if I approached it from this one? Oh, no. What would it look like if I approached it from over here? How could I heal that? How could I forgive myself? Again, forgiveness is the biggest key to having compassion. You know, segregation corrodes and blurs our vision. You know, when we separate things out, it doesn't really unite things. What does it do? It separates. So if we truly want to create a world devoid of separation, we all need to know that we are one people, that we are, one whatever it is. Sure, we have different paths or whatever we are, different lives, but we truly are a human existence. And a very interesting human existence it is that we have. We, at times, do feel suffering. We do feel that things are against us. But remember, suffering is optional, as I've said before. It is optional. We don't have to buy into that. We experience ourselves as being separate from the whole. This separateness becomes like a prison for us, a prison that restricts us to our personal hopes and fears and to caring only for people nearest to us. That's what happens when we close our world. I'd like to ask you all a question. Now, you don't have to answer out loud, but answer within yourself. The basic question is, who am I? Who am I? The other question is, can we look within and see that to be of most service to others, we must first face our own doubts, fears, and resistance? What are those? What is it that you constantly find yourself resisting? What is it that you constantly find yourself fearing? When we become very clear about that, we know who we are. You already know who you are. It's just getting those little pesky dust specks out of the way to really create an avenue for you to thrive, not survive. We naturally reach out because, of course, we want help. But then at times we retreat because we're afraid that we might get our hand bit off. And then there's the other thing where we're feeling unsure of ourselves. What would it look like if each and every one of us just said, you know what, I'm going to just ask. I'm just going to do. And whatever happens, happens. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says, No step is lost on this path, and even a little progress in freedom from fear. How strong are we? And how loving can we be? How can we strengthen that love, and how strong can we be in that love? Each time we drop our masks and meet heart to heart, we experience a profound bond which is nourishing everyone. Each time we quiet our mind and really listen to the still, small voice within, we can hear each other. What happens is people are speaking so loudly we can't hear what they're saying. And what happens also is we tend to say, well, wait a minute, they said something that I really want. Oh, wait a minute, let me interrupt you so that I can share with you my ego. Instead of sitting and listening and saying, I am open to receive, I am open to love, and I am open to whatever understanding is required. But know that I am here sitting in love as I know that you are also a beautiful vessel of love. The Buddha instructed his disciples, be a lamp unto yourself, urging each of us to light the lamp of mindfulness in our own heart and accept connectedness. We are all connected. And I don't understand why we have to have this thought of that we're disconnected. We are all human. Yeah, we show up differently. We all have different body types and, whatever else it is. But this, it's all about that we're human. We're all in this together. We're not separate. Even though the media says we are, and they're always, telling us things like, whatever it is to create the separateness, because they do. It's time that we stop listening and we start listening to each other. We start connecting to each other. Especially right now, with all the crazy stuff that's going on politically. It's sad how divisive everything appears, and it doesn't have to be that way. We can stop it because we are love. We can look at that person, it doesn't matter who they're going to vote for, but we say, I love you. We don't have to say, well, you're going to vote for that candidate, forget you. That's not who we are. That's not who we have come to be. Our consciousness is supposed to be, or is, I'm not going to say supposed to be, it is love. It is love. So what I have come to realize is that I release and let go. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen, because whatever we are bringing is by right of consciousness. And I know that we are all in this together, and it's all love. Mother Teresa said, if we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten we belong to each other. We do belong to each other. We are each one another's partner in life. We each take care of each other. I'd like to say we could do a better job of it. Most of us, will walk away from here and whatever it is on a daily basis, and we'll come away and we'll say, okay, I feel free and unlimited and I feel loving. But yet the next thought is, how could I be connected to that person? Why? Martin Luther King said, all life is interrelated. We are all caught in an inescapable network of mutuality tied to a single garment of destiny. We are each other's destiny. And Ernest Holmes said that out of any set of chaos that now exists, we can produce harmony if we will move into the nature of God, in the nature of understanding, in the nature of co-creating. And of course, one of my favorite people, spiritual guides, Thich Nhat Hanh, who's no longer with us. Well, actually, he is. He's just in a different incarnation. The only way out of violence and conflict is for us to embrace the practice of peace, to think and act with compassion, love, and understanding. You know, many of us we've chosen science of mind or unity or divine science or whatever metaphysical it is that we have come to love and enjoy. It's because we have experienced what we call a spiritual awakening. And it is frequently described as a journey to the top of the mountain. Now, you don't need any gear for this stuff. It is a climb. It's a climb of truth. And we leave our attachments and our worldliness behind and slowly make our way to the top. It's not easy. And I will be quite frank with you. It is not easy to get there because we have to release and we have to let go of all that appears to be dragging us down. And the problem with that is that, I don't want to say it's a problem, but we leave others behind. And we often wonder why those people leave our life. It's because love is just expanding. And they're here, and we are on the same plane with them. There is no separation between us and them. We just are moving on. Doesn't mean that we really leave them behind. It's just that there's a different energy that's going on. In Buddhist, Tonglen practice is a method of connecting with suffering, our own and that which is around us. It is a spiritual practice of overcoming our fear of suffering and for dissolving the tightness of our hearts. I love the Buddhas. They have such these beautiful, beautiful words, and their spiritual practices is to continue to love and to connect. They say that to know and understand that we are not victims, that love is everywhere present, and God of our understanding is at the center of all that is and that all that will be. That's what it is. Love is at the center of everything. You know, how many of us, when we're talking about connectedness, how many of us have been in an elevator where, you know, you stand there, floor 3, or you just simply, you know, move over and do that. Or you're standing in line somewhere and then all of a sudden you have a book and you keep your head in the book. It was really interesting the other day. I was on my way to the office and I found this Starbucks that nobody knows about. and they just opened this last Monday, and I asked them, I said, wow, I said, this is the Starbucks where I come in and I go out within 2 minutes. I said, what's going on? She said, oh, we just opened on Monday. I said, oh, okay, that's why. I'm not going to tell you where it is. Anyway. Actually, it's on 22nd, and it's just, where is it? It's down there where the car places are, but it's on if you're coming. Huh?
It's in the Fry's Plaza.
Yes, it's in the Fry's Plaza. Okay, so now you know. So what happened is I came in and there was a couple of cars in front of me and I was like, really? I can't believe this. Anyway, so I ordered my let's see, I know some of you are going to go, iced pumpkin chai cream latte. Yes, yeah. Oh yeah. Once over the lips, forever on the hips. But it is good. It's my one indulgence during the fall. Anyway, so I'm I've got my little Starbucks thing on my phone. I'm getting ready to pay, and the gal behind the thing says, oh, it's already been paid for. What? She says, yes, the person in front of you paid for your coffee. Yeah. And I said, well, tell you what. I was planning on spending this amount of money, so however many drinks this buys, please do. So it was like kind of, pay it forward kind of thing. And I thought, how often as humans do we think about that? And I left my little Starbucks, and I thought, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for this and so much more, and to create that realization within me that we're good people. We're loving people. We do take care of each other. And so it is amazing how God works through each and every one of us on a daily basis. We just have to be awake to it, to notice it. And I love this. This says, love is not only the flower at full bloom, it is also the seed. And like a flower, love transitions, even in death. Life carries on. Love is formless. It is eternal. If we open our eyes despite darkened times, we come to see that love has been there all along. Namaste. I love you. And so it is.